What's going on, everybody? We have a little bit of a glitch getting everybody on here, but we are ready to rock and roll. Today I have the lovely Casey on joining me today. She is one of the coaches at the ARC. She's actually the head coach at the ARC. She's been teaching our premier class, which is called Apex, for the last almost 2 years, I want to say, right, Casey?
Yep, I've been with the ARC for about 2.5 years now.
Yeah, so just to give you all a little background on Casey, because I think it's important for us to really share who the players in the ARC are, because usually a lot of people just associated in that I'm like this one-man band until you actually get into the ARC and you're like, who's that Gaven guy, right? But Casey actually was one of our earlier students in 2021, and she came over from one of our referral sources. His name's Jack McCall, really a good friend of mine. We've done some stuff together, and Casey was like, we ended up having like a very, very small get together in Denver in November of 2021, and she's like, hey, I'm passing through Denver. Is there any way that I can stop by and learn from you guys and just like get to know you guys a little bit better? And I said, yeah, sure, come on down. And so she ended up coming down, and she said, Gaven, I'm telling you right now, one day I am going to work with the ARC. And I said, I'm down. Let's do it. She goes, I just a couple of things that I need to do. And before I make that transition, but I will. And lo and behold, I mean, how long was it after that, Casey, that you actually came over to the ARC?
Yeah, it wasn't much. From November to I ended up quitting my 9-to-5 in March of 22. So pretty shortly after that conversation.
Yeah. So March. So 4 more months later, she ended up, making the transition. And, since then, she's also been very impactful in the blockchain community. She's actually been featured on TEDx. She has a TEDx talk that is amazing. I was like, whoa, there's no way I would have been able to do that TEDx talk. Let me tell you. And then she also, we also won an award for like Blockchain Company of the Year at this huge event in Las Vegas. And Casey was the one that actually pitched it. I was originally supposed to be pitching it, and then my daughter was being born. And so I was like, you know what? I think like Casey might be the one to do a way better job. And then everybody came back and they're like, oh yeah, dude, you would have there's no way we would have won unless Casey was there. So I'm really, really excited to have her on. And she's going to be a little bit more in the public eye. She's still going to teach courses, obviously, but she's going to be a little bit more in the public eye now, because right now is the time to really be making moves and paying attention to what's going on in DeFi and all things crypto. And I'll give you all a little teaser too. Like, Casey has been airdrop hunting now for over a year. And for those of you who don't know what airdrop is, like there's different crypto projects that the way they get people involved is by doing an airdrop. And so they'll have like a certain amount of the allocation that they're just going to send to people that have like interacted with their different, mechanisms, or interacting with the decentralized application. And in exchange, usually the more that you do, or maybe the more money that you put up in that decentralized application before they launch their token, they're going to launch, they're going to give you more and more. But Casey's been doing classes usually once every month and a half or 2 months on airdrops. And so just yesterday, I got an airdrop that was worth $2,500, and I was able to cash half of it out. I kept half of it, which is kind of my strategy on here. But just with Casey's strategies alone, I think I've done almost like $10,000 this year in airdrops. And let me spare you the suspense, because a lot of people have like hesitations getting into crypto because maybe they don't have enough money or whatever. I didn't have to actually spend any money. I mean, I had to have a little bit, but for that particular airdrop, I mean, I could have had like $10 and done some of the performing, the performing some of the actions. And Casey actually led me through that. And I have now like my own list of like all the airdrops that Casey talks about so that I can keep an eye on those. And my wife as well. My wife always sending me, tweets and stuff like that. Hey, did you claim this airdrop and stuff? But Casey and my wife are both have been like the ones that have been making me that additional money that barely cost me anything, just a little bit of time. And I mean, I'm telling you, the amount of time that I spent on this particular airdrop, which was called Wormhole, was literally 5 minutes to make $2,500 and more because I'm holding on to it. So maybe it'll go up in value, right? So Casey, tell everybody about like your strategy with airdrop hunting. Just to give us a little brief summary before we get into the meat and potatoes of this session, because I think this is a really, really hot topic. And I think everybody should be getting into airdrops, especially if you're just getting in because it's free money. Go ahead, Casey.
It is. And airdrops are something that, I'm always the first proponent of telling people, hey, if something sounds too good to be true, it is. But airdrops are something that when you understand, it's actually a really cool tactic and kind of a marketing scheme for companies to use versus paying maybe advertising dollars to get clients or whatever. What they do is, like Yvonne had explained earlier, maybe, for example, like the Wormhole one yesterday, where he was using what's called a bridge, which is something in cryptocurrency that you use to move your crypto from blockchain to blockchain. And this is something that he would have been doing regularly anyway, totally independent of trying to qualify for this airdrop. But because that bridge and that protocol didn't have a token yet, is why once they decided to release a token, they had set aside a portion of their supply to distribute it to the loyal people that had been using their product. So that's the strategy behind airdrops, is you find big, well-funded, tokenless protocols who have a potential to have a token that would have some purpose that goes along with the ecosystem. And oftentimes this could be like the governance token for their ecosystem or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons why they would, but I'll give you a piece of alpha. Something that, I'm currently looking at is Coinbase's new blockchain, Base. It doesn't have its own token presently. So I'm trying to use Base as much as I possibly can in anticipation that, hey, maybe Base will come out with a token. And because I've been a loyal user of it, I'm going to get airdropped a bunch of money for using it. So that's kind of the strategy behind airdrops, is finding tokenless protocols that would have a reason to have a token and using them and using all of their natively built projects and things to get yourself qualified and get some free money. So pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's like, again, this is like a strategy that I've been using. And, like I got into probably like the first airdrop, the OG airdrop, which was Uniswap. And I remember it was like helicopter money, right? I ended up getting in and it was $2,500. I'll never forget it. It was $2,500 that I got. No, I take that back. It was $1,200. It was $1,200. And so many people dumped the token right away. And I'm like, actually, Uniswap's like the largest decentralized exchange in the world. I'm like, I'm going to actually hold on to this one. And I started learning how to liquidity pool mine, which is something that we teach, fervently here at the ARC. And I held on to it, and I was earning more in Uniswap, more in Ethereum, because I paired those two together. And what ended up happening was I turned that $1,500 airdrop into like $12,000 or $15,000 within like 3 or 4 months, when like the price of Uniswap like swelled. And so I promised myself I would always take a little bit of profit. Casey, do you usually take profit when you get these airdrops?
I do. I immediately take profits and then I hang on to some if I believe in the project. I mean, some of them you weren't even anticipating getting it. So sometimes I dump them, but in most cases I'll hang on to some of it because, like you said, I mean, people get it, they take profits, the price goes down, but then as it stabilizes and over time as it grows, that's going to be worth a lot. And hey, you got it for free. So take some profits and just hang on to it. Let the house money ride. And that's free money down the line.
Right. Let me ask you a question.
The coolest part of what you just said too is you were just using that protocol anyway. Like you were using it every day to make your swaps. That's the greatest part about airdrops, is sometimes you just get them for doing things you were already doing. And that's to go back to you saying, like, you don't need a X amount of money to qualify for a lot of these things. You're going to just, by way of operating in crypto, you will qualify yourself for airdrops.
Yeah, 100% agree. And like one of them, I don't know if you got this airdrop, but Pyth was one of them. I got that one this year, and I think I got like only $800 on that one. What did you get on that one, if you don't mind me asking? Or did you get that one?
I did get Pyth. I don't remember exactly how much I got I don't remember how much I got. I've gotten a lot of airdrops recently.
So I'm telling you guys, she's the queen of airdrops, and I think we need to do more on the airdrop side. I think you would agree with me, Casey, because that's just like, man, it brings so much value to the students. And again, guys, gals, like if you come in with our monthly subscription, like literally with the airdrop that I got yesterday, I could have paid like almost 3 years of my monthly subscription. So it's like in one day, in just doing a few things, and that's just one, right? So if you're looking to get into crypto, it's really, really important to have like guys do it. And it's so hard to get on like Twitter and stuff like this. I think you would agree with me, Casey, like that's what we do, right? Casey's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. We have multiple different coaches. We're going to have a coach Igor on one day. Igor's on Twitter. All of our coaches are on Twitter, and we're all looking for the alpha, right? And there's actually some companies that I pay for actual alpha for them to write up reports for us. But I'll tell you, man, it is there's so much information that sometimes not having that ability to really get that concise information, it can be overwhelming. So if you guys are really interested in learning how to do this and you're not part of our group yet, Ruben, let's throw in the link. You can sign up using this link. We'll put it in the chat as well. And we have a 50% off code right now for a monthly subscription. It's originally $194. Right now, it's down to $97 per month, and you're grandfathered in at that. You have nothing to lose. So, Casey, let's get into the stuff that I think long term is really where we're going to make lots of money. BlackRock has been, like really the light, the shining star in the show right now, and it's since probably, I don't know, last November, December, really, when they started announcing that they were going to have this Bitcoin ETF come up, and they've now had it come up. And now it's not only just the Bitcoin ETF, they're actually looking to get into crypto by tokenizing real world assets. And I know you've prepared a little presentation for us. I'm gonna let you steal the show here because you're probably more knowledgeable on this than I am at this point in time. And let's bring some value to everybody here, because this is really, guys, gals, if you're paying attention and you're reading the writing on the wall, there's a lot of idiots out there that are like, oh no, crypto, it's printed out of thin air and all that. You're not paying attention when you're actually talking about bringing all the assets of all the world onto the blockchain. All right. That's a game changer, and it's happening right now. So Casey, go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Gavin. Yeah. And you said I'm more knowledgeable than you on this topic right now, and that could be true, but I've got to say, this is something it's just kind of flying under the radar in crypto as a whole right now, which is pretty wild to me that people aren't absolutely, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why this is all the way there. Why this is not, absolutely breaking headlines and everything. I mean, this is a big deal, and I'm going to tell you guys why. So I want to tell you about BlackRock meets blockchain. So everybody's heard about BlackRock, and I want to just kind of break down who is BlackRock, why do they matter, what is going on in the space right now, why do you keep hearing about them, and why do I say the future is now? There's never been a better time to educate yourself on this kind of stuff. So with that being said, let's get into it. So who is the elusive BlackRock that you've probably heard about left and right if you're in the crypto space lately, or if you're in any financial market? Well, BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager. They've got almost 10 trillion, with a T, $10 trillion in assets under management. Now, if you're not familiar with BlackRock, you might be more familiar with similar investment management companies like Vanguard and Fidelity, the companies that you may have your 401k with. That's kind of what BlackRock does, except on a much larger scale. Those are kind of their competitors, but BlackRock really, really dominates that space, the investment management space, and they're really well versed in all facets of investment management. But we'll get into that. So it's not just your 401ks and your mutual funds and things like that. They're in real estate. They're in every financial sector there is. So why do these guys matter? Well, I just told you, obviously, they're the largest asset manager in the world, not just in the United States, but in the world. And they are much larger and much more powerful than those companies like Vanguard and Fidelity. Those guys are getting into this stuff too, but more following suit of BlackRock. BlackRock's influence is unmatched. There is nobody that does it like them, and there is nobody that has the influence that they have. And let's talk about some of that influence that they have. They're one of the top shareholders in many of the top companies on this planet, like Apple and Microsoft and Amazon and Google and Tesla and JP Morgan and Meta. Those are quite literally the biggest companies in the world, right? BlackRock owns a lot of those companies. BlackRock influences just about everything. Additionally, I didn't put it in here, but I mentioned real estate, and we'll get into that down the line, but don't quote me on this number, but BlackRock owns about 6 to 8% of all rented homes on the market as well. So not only do they own the biggest companies in the world, they also own all of the homes in the world too. Not all of them, obviously, but I believe the statistic was 6 to 8% of every rented home in America, maybe not the world, in America, is owned by BlackRock. So again, this is a big company. This is the company that people joke BlackRock runs the world, and they're not kidding. So I want you to understand the magnitude of the company that is making these moves. If you haven't heard of them, oftentimes if you're not well versed in the financial space, this is the biggest company you've never heard of, right? You've probably heard of all of these, but you haven't heard of BlackRock, who is the overarching factor of all of this. So what kind of impact has BlackRock had on all of this stuff lately? All this crypto stuff and all this market stuff, right? Well, they made massive waves earlier this year, like Gavin had mentioned, by trailblazing spot Bitcoin ETFs. So for those of you who may not know what ETFs are, ETF stands for exchange traded funds, and it's basically a way for investors, in traditional finance, maybe non-crypto investors, to have exposure to the price of cryptocurrency without actually having to go through the nuances of holding it yourself. Or it also was a vehicle for those who couldn't invest in cryptocurrencies, like certain funds who were operating under regulated jurisdictions where they couldn't, with other people's money and such. It was a gray area whether or not they could invest in crypto. These products allowed them to have exposure to Bitcoin. So this is a really, really big deal that these spot Bitcoin ETFs were approved and became essentially legalized earlier this year. And over the past 10 years, the SEC had shot down every single application for a spot Bitcoin ETF before BlackRock. So once BlackRock's got approved, there was a cascading effect of approvals that came through afterwards. So we can see over here, now there are, on the first day they got approved after BlackRock's, there were 10 more that got approved. And even now, I think it's up to like 19 or 20. So BlackRock, when they do something, everyone pays attention and everyone follows suit. All right. So again, you can see some of these names that you might know and be familiar with, like Fidelity and Bitwise and VanEck and such. If Wisdom Tree, depending on what kind of retirement funds and things that you might have. So again, if you're not familiar with BlackRock, these guys pave the way, people follow, and people pay attention. So that's why it is so imperative for you to understand the magnitude of the things that they're doing right now and the moves that they're making. Okay. So that is the Bitcoin ETFs, but now they're doing something else that's really, really, really cool. They just launched a new product that is going to ignite a financial paradigm shift. This is going to change the way that we look at the future of finance. And we, as in the ARC, we've already been doing this stuff. We've already been looking at it this way, but this is changing the way that Wall Street is looking at finance. This is changing the way that the suits and ties are looking at finance. The people that you couldn't get to listen to you about crypto a year ago, these people are all starting to get into cryptocurrency, and they're really starting to listen. You know why? BlackRock. All right. So you see this image I have here of BlackRock and RWA. They're leading the charge. RWA stands for real world assets. And BlackRock is on a mission to tokenize real world assets. And they've launched a product where it's their first foray into doing so. And that product is called BUIDL. I know it's a crazy name. It's actually really funny if you're in cryptocurrency, though, because if you know anything about the crypto space, you know that it's full of there's a lot of inside jokes and a lot of funny stuff that goes on. And BUIDL is something that people have been saying for years in crypto. It's like a typo. Like if you've ever heard of HODL, hold on for dear life, HODL. It's just a thing. Like people that build in crypto, they'll spell it BUIDL, like BUIDL. And BlackRock actually named their fund BUIDL. And there's people are so happy in cryptocurrency about that because they're saying like BlackRock's one of us now, you know, they're for the people. And so so what does BUIDL stand for? Well, it stands for the BlackRock US Dollar Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund. So that's what BUIDL is. Now, what the heck does that even mean? Well, this is the first mutual fund or tokenized fund that's been issued on a public blockchain. And nobody's talking about it like they were the ETF. That's what I was saying. Gaven said, yeah, I don't know that much about it yet. Well, it's crazy to me that nobody does because the ETFs, everybody and their brother knew about it every second of every day. That's all you could hear about on, Squawk Box and Bloomberg and whatever. Like you couldn't go anywhere without hearing about these ETFs. But this is kind of flying under the radar, and it's something you're really, really going to want to pay attention to because this is the first step towards radically transforming capital markets. All right. And like I said, this is just the beginning of BlackRock tokenizing all kinds of real world assets, from stocks and bonds to real estate to all kinds of different things. So what exactly is BUIDL? Well, BUIDL is a tokenized money market fund that's issued on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, that in and of itself is notable. Issued on the Ethereum blockchain. You want to know why that's really cool? BlackRock has every resource they would have ever needed to go out and build a private blockchain and do all of this stuff themselves. They didn't need to go build on a public blockchain. But they believe in decentralization and sovereign finances. The largest asset manager in the world, who quite literally monopolizes money, believes in the power to the people. And they're putting their money where their mouth is. That is next level, guys. That is revolutionary. So, again, what is BUIDL? It's a token. It's a cryptocurrency. And it acts like a stable coin with a value of $1. It stays stable. It stays pegged to the value of the US dollar. And the way that it does this is it's backed by 100% of its assets are backed in cash equivalents or UST bills and repurchase agreements and these types of cash assets that you would see in mutual funds that you would invest in traditionally, and again through whatever means that you had through your brokerage or through whatever. However, BUIDL is on the blockchain. It is tokenized. It is eventually will be a peer-to-peer asset versus you having to call up, Mr. Vanguard, hey, can I, my financial advisor, I'd like to allocate a little bit to this. And yeah, it's going to take 7 to 10 business days and right? There's so much friction in that process. Now, we've got a tokenized money market issued on the blockchain. The blockchain is a 24/7, 365 open market. It's a peer-to-peer market. It's a frictionless market. It's a transparent market. This is the first step towards, again, transforming capital markets like we've never seen them before. This allows for unprecedented amounts of liquidity, user bases. There's so much that this can do. So again, to put it simply, this is the first tokenized fund that is on a public blockchain. That is what BlackRock has come out with as of March 20th. Now, while this might be revolutionary, it is just the beginning, and it's not something that, everyday investors are able to just jump onto their, your Coinbase or your crypto.com and buy. You can't quite do that yet. It's not yet permissionless because it is a security. Oh my God, I know I said the S word, security. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means they have to play by the book and jump through some extra hoops right now to be compliant with the SEC. But once again, this is a big step, the fact that this is even allowed to exist. And so they do have full plans and full intentions for this to be permissionless and for it to be full DeFi. But presently, it is custodial. All right. So,
real quick, Casey, real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
But guys, the alpha that you're getting here, all right, you may get on Twitter and they'll give you like a little thread, all right? Or you may see something on YouTube and they'll give a little, oh, BlackRock's getting into it. But the level of detail that Casey's going into this is next level shit. This is next level shit. So here's what I need for you to do as a tip to Casey right now. I need for you to destroy that like button. And if you're like, man, this Casey lady and this Gaven guy, if you're not part of our channel yet, if you're not part of it, you're like, man, these guys are resonating with me. This guy and gal are resonating with me. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button because we do 2 lives per week. And I also need for you guys to share it. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family because this is going to be the future of finance. I'm telling you right now, there's no doubt about that. This is going on right now. There is a revolution of a transfer of wealth that is occurring. And if you don't see it in this, and I think this is why Casey left her job and she was making 6 figures to come with us to make way less than that. All right. As a coach. Okay. But I know for a fact in the next year, she's going to make way more than that. But she believed in this so much. And guys, I'm going to keep boosting her ego. And oh my gosh, I'm going to hear about this later. And heaven forbid we disagree. She's going to use this against me. But Casey's level of investing skills are like unmatched. Sometimes I'm like sitting there and she's like, oh yeah, I'm in this. And I'm like, dude, how long have you been in this for? Yeah, like a year. And she's like made all sorts of money on it. Like she's next level. So pay attention. She's going to be on the channel more often. All right. She's going to be on the channel more often, but I need for you guys to destroy that like button, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button. So you know exactly when we're getting on. Casey, go for it. I'm out of here.
Awesome. Thank you, Gaven. Listen, I learned everything I know from the ARC, right? So we all start somewhere. And guys, I'm not kidding when I say, I mean, this information that now it may sound like I'm speaking Mandarin to a lot of you, but I learned this from the ARC. It just took a couple of years of consistency. And now I teach the classes that I learned from, which is super, super cool. And it's very rewarding. But this is something that, man, once I got into it and I started making money and I started understanding that we are pioneering a new financial system. And this is stuff that we've been doing, guys. Like BlackRock, okay, they're going to come out and tokenize a fund. Guess who has decentralized on-chain asset management first? We do. We did it before BlackRock. Guess who was tokenizing real estate before BlackRock? We were. So it's so cool to see our thesis being validated. I mean, everybody likes to be right, but this is the kind of thing that we've seen coming. We've known this is coming because we've been so submerged in this space, but now we have the validation and now we're, I hate to say it, we're starting to be taken seriously by traditional finance now because these guys validate it. So as much as you like to hate on capitalism and, down with these big companies, and listen, I'm right there with you. I like power to the little guy, but they're helping us out right now. And they're really, really validating what we're doing. And they're really validating the mission that we're all on. And again, like I said, the fact that they're doing this on public blockchains, not using private infrastructure. I mean, BlackRock's kind of for the people right now. That's badass. So let's keep going. All right. Again, I said, people think of it as a swear word that, BlackRock is or that BUIDL is a security, and it's not a big deal. I think it gets blown out of proportion in the media and such. I mean, any financial asset that you purchase with hopes of a future return on oftentimes is a security. So it's not a big deal. It's just a technicality. And again, they just have to play by some certain rules right now, and they're doing that. So no big deal. So why tokenize? Why do I care about this stuff? Why have we been doing this? Why is BlackRock doing it? Well, guys, the financial world as we know it is archaic. There's a maze of middlemen, from brokers and banks and clearinghouses and settlement layers, and everybody gets a slice of the pie, taking their fees, making money off of you, and slowing down all of the transactions in the process to a dang snail's pace whenever you're trying to get anything done, right? Like I said, I call up my financial advisor. Yeah, sure, Casey, in 7 to 10 business days, we'll be able to, like, come on, in 7 to 10 business seconds, I can do it on the blockchain. So why, where am I going with all of this? Like, yeah, everybody knows we've got all these problems right now. Well, in a world where technology has given us the means to communicate instantaneously across the globe, why do monetary transactions have so much friction? Like, why is our money and our financial system still so outdated? We have figured out how to improve quite literally everything but money. Like, if I wanted a Starbucks coffee in my hand right now, I could pick up my phone and go on DoorDash, and Doug would bring me a Starbucks coffee in about 17 minutes. That's the world that we live in, right? You can communicate quicker than we've ever been able to communicate before. Anywhere in the world, you can, the speed of information is insane. The speed of money is still so slow. The layers and layers and layers that financial transactions have to go through is ridiculous. I mean, you've got, like I said before, you've got these clearinghouses and these settlement layers and these banks and these brokers and like on the blockchain, it's from me to you. It's from you to the next guy. It is from, whatever you're trying to do. There aren't 15 hoops, and there's not a million people taking fees and cuts and slowing down the process along the way. That's why we tokenize. And those are the inefficiencies that BlackRock sees. They get that. They understand that. When past couple of years in cryptocurrency, especially whenever we've had these parabolic bull runs in like 2021, where everybody, all the rave is NFTs and monkey pictures and celebrities doing ridiculous endorsements and stuff. The space doesn't get taken very seriously. The people laugh at it. I mean, it's but now crypto's grown from a digital novelty to BlackRock, right? We've grown from monkey pictures to mutual funds. This is the future of finance, guys. All of that goofy stuff, it's just a phase. It's like when the internet came out. There were the dumbest websites possible on the internet, because it's like when the iPhone came out. There was like you had 4 apps on your phone when it came out, and the one was like the beer drinking app. Like, dumb shit, right? Now you can quite literally run entire businesses from your phone. You can quite literally do anything from your phone. And those are the kind of the steps that we've got to go through as an asset class. But again, this is the fastest growing asset class of the last 100 years. And these things that are happening now are just the next iteration. So, I mean, I say to my students a lot of the times, when you're talking to your family and friends about this stuff, you might not have heard about it back then when it was all that goofy stuff, but you're going to hear about it. It's not a matter of if, but when. All right. So as I always say, join us or watch us, because it's happening. And BlackRock isn't a joke. When Kim Kardashian's doing paid stuff in cryptocurrency, that could be a joke. Logan Paul, that's a joke. BlackRock is not kidding. The SEC, these ETFs, that's not a joke. So that is why it's important for you to understand this stuff. So enter this blockchain technology, like I said, that can solve a lot of these problems. Beyond the hype and the speculation of what BlackRock is doing with BUIDL is this truly, truly transformative technology. I mean, think about if every financial asset can be represented digitally and securely on a blockchain. It's not just cryptocurrencies. It's not just these mutual funds. It's not just BUIDL. We're talking about stocks and bonds and real estate and car titles and intellectual property, and all of these things can be recorded on blockchains. All of these things can be frictionless. They can be transparent, and they can be sound. This can help us to create a highly interoperable financial system. And when I say interoperable, I mean stuff that talks to each other and gets along. Right now, there's so much siloed communication in finance, whereas we can have an interoperable financial system. It'll be transparent. It is. I don't need to say it will be, because it is. It already exists and it's happening. It provides equal access rights. Little need for middlemen, custodians, clearinghouses, and escrow services. It all is replaced already by smart contracts on the blockchain. And BlackRock is leading the charge. Those are words that people in crypto 5-10 years ago would have thought you were insane to say that we would even see in our lifetime. So sometimes it does pay to have the big guys in your corner. And the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, he's moving fast and furious to pave the way. He says that he wants to tokenize everything. And guys, don't forget, when he says everything, you saw that list of companies that I said that BlackRock has their hands in and controls. And we all know it's not the governments that control the world, it's money. And BlackRock is the money in the world. So when they want something, generally it happens. And that's why you need to be paying attention. And that's why it's good to have them on our side leading the charge for this kind of thing, because they get shit done, frankly. So where is all of this stuff going? Well, as I had alluded, this is just a small glimpse into what's to come. And we're still in, the term that's kind of buzzy right now is the hi-fi phase. It's not quite traditional finance, but it's not quite decentralized finance. So it's not quite TradFi, not quite DeFi, but it's like hybrid finance. And we're getting closer. We're getting closer to what we're looking for. The financial rule book is being rewritten. And financial sovereignty, it's no longer just a rally cry for us freedom fighters over here, the crypto nerds, but it's a revolution that's happening right in front of our very eyes. These BUIDL tokens are going to be redeemable on-chain for stablecoins to bypass the banks and allow for truly bankless wealth creation. One of our claims to fame at the ARC is we'll teach you how to become your own bank, which we do. BlackRock is in support of this. BUIDL is going to be redeemable on-chain for stablecoins. So here's what I mean by that. Your BUIDL is like a stablecoin, like I said, right? So it's worth roughly $1. However, because of the backed underlying assets, how I said it operates like a mutual fund where you've got, let's say your T-bills and such that you earn a small interest rate on. Well, your BUIDL that you're holding is actually an interest-bearing cryptocurrency. You're going to receive more and more BUIDL because of the accrual of the appreciation of the underlying assets. All right, so whatever is earned on the underlying assets is passed off to you, the holder, just like it would be in any other market, like your mutual funds. And so these BUIDL tokens, maybe you want to sell some of them. Maybe you want to cash a little bit out, buy yourself some new shoes or a house or something. Well, right now, unfortunately, like I said, because this process is not yet permissionless, what happens is you send your BUIDL to a redemption wallet and then you're wired the money still through the banking system. But their vision through their partner who's handling all of the tokenization of BUIDL is to, in the future, you'll be able to bypass the banks by way of having a redemption mechanism of BUIDL for stablecoins and other cryptocurrencies and any other asset that you can trade on chain. There will be no need for banks. It'll all be on chain. And even the Securitize CEO, which Securitize is that company that's handling all of that for them. So the CEO, Carlos Domingo, says that even lending and AMMs are coming and unavoidable. And so what I mean by that is this is decentralized borrowing and lending protocols. And this is automated market makers, like places that you can swap and trade your cryptocurrencies in a decentralized fashion. These are the things that we teach at the ARC. And let me give you guys an example of borrowing and lending and how cool this stuff. This is a piece of bonus alpha for you. Okay, so listen up. One of the things that borrowing and lending is really, really cool. There's a ton, but one of the things borrowing and lending is really, really cool for is when we say that you become your own bank, you quite literally can become your own bank in cryptocurrency. You can tap into the equity of your cryptocurrency yourself. You don't need to go, Mr. Chase Bank, I have this much equity in my home and I would like $50,000 because nope, you have a shitty credit score. Can't do it. Nope, you haven't been at your job long enough. Can't do it. Nope, no, there's none of that. It's black and white. It's either yes or no on chain in cryptocurrency. I'll give you an example. Last bull market, one of the smartest things that I did a lot of dumb stuff. There was a lot of learning, a lot of lessons. One of the smartest things that I did was secured my profits into real estate projects and created long-term steady cash flow for myself. And so the way that I did that, though, was I didn't want to pay a fat tax bill on all the profits that I had made in cryptocurrency. So I thought, let's get creative. And I had learned this from Gaven and from the ARC. And Gaven says, you can borrow against your cryptocurrency. And I'm like, well, why would I do that? That's scary. That's too volatile. And I learned how to do it safely and how to do it securely. And what I was able to do is quite literally become my own bank and supplied some of my cryptocurrency as collateral to a borrowing and lending protocol. I borrowed cryptocurrency against it immediately with my own wallet. I cashed it out, did a real estate deal, refinanced, paid back the cryptocurrency. And guess what? I got to keep all of my crypto and the real estate, never had to talk to a bank, never had to go through anybody, was able to do everything on chain. And I quite literally lent myself money for that project by way of using the blockchain. These are the things that are coming. These are the things that you can do. So when the Securitize CEO, the fella that's working with Larry Fink from BlackRock, says that this is the stuff that is coming and unavoidable, that gets me so excited because this is the stuff that we are doing and that we are teaching you guys. If there's any of our students that are on this call and that are watching, I mean, you all learn how to use decentralized exchanges once a week. Like that's what we teach you. That's what we learn in Apex. That's what we learn in Galaxy and all of our courses, right? That's what we're doing. And now these guys and offer that to these traditional investors. How cool is that you are there first? You are literally paving the way for this new financial paradigm that's coming. So the market right now, guys, is really exciting. It's really hot, but it's scary for those of you that are coming in. You know, crypto is volatile. And the reason it's volatile is because it's a young asset class. It's a smaller asset class relative to, all of the trillions and trillions of dollars elsewhere. But that short-term volatility is the price that we pay for being the pioneers of this new financial system. And guys, it's working. We're doing this before they are. And we're ahead of it and we are profiting from all of this. So there's never been a better time to learn this information. And listen, if you don't want to miss out on the greatest financial paradigm shift to ever occur, come join us and learn how you can capitalize on these ever emerging opportunities, because there's going to be a time when this bull run ends. Okay, the markets are cyclical, and that's not just in crypto. That's in stocks. That's in real estate. The markets are cyclical. There's an undulation of ups and downs. That's how it works. So if you want to capitalize on what's happening now, and you want to get in before all of the big money, you've got to get in now. The opportunity cost of not learning this stuff is far too high. This is the future of finance. And so if you want to learn that, come do it with us at the ARC. Thank you guys for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey. So a little bit, let's dive a little bit more into this. And by the way, if you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We're watching the chat like a hawk to see if there's any questions, because we want to be able to answer questions here. Now, let me say this, all right? And Casey said this earlier, and I'm not sure if anybody was paying attention to this, but when Casey got into this, she knew nothing about crypto, nothing. Okay, and it took her, you know, years to get to where she's at now, obviously. But in my opinion, Casey was pretty proficient within 2 or 3 months. All right, because she dived in. She didn't like stop. She was just like, I want to learn this stuff. I'm really, really interested. And this was when the market was very, very nascent. We didn't have BlackRock talking about these things. We didn't have JP Morgan Chase talking about these things. Nobody was really diving into DeFi. Maybe they were still talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum, but nobody was actually getting into DeFi. And Casey knew all this stuff very, very quickly. And within like 4 months after her and I had met, she was already leaving her job and teaching. But it takes time to learn this stuff. It takes time to learn this stuff. Now, is BlackRock going to convert everything all inside of one day? No way. No way. They're not going to take the entire stock market and all this stuff. It's going to be a progression. And this is where a lot of investors, I'm actually reading a book right now that, and I've read a lot of different books. I'll maybe pull one off the shelf to show you here on finances. And so many people get into crypto with like the idea that they're getting in and this is going to be an easier lottery to win. Okay. That's a piss poor way to think about this from the beginning. If you get into crypto and you're like, wait a second, hold on, time out. All the value of all the world is coming onto the blockchain. Okay. All the value of all the world is coming onto the blockchain. And it's going to take time to do that. Just like Amazon, right? Or Apple. Do you think Apple went from $1 billion company to I don't know, what is it, like $2 trillion company overnight? Same as Amazon. All right. Amazon in the height of the 1995 to 2000 bull market was at, I don't know, $100 or something like this. I'm using hypothetical numbers. It crashed all the way down like 95%. So there was a lot of people that bought at that top and probably sold through that. Now we've got a way to go through those times where you're not going to lose so much money in the downturns. We have a strategy called dollar cost averaging that we teach over here. Okay. But at the same time, for those that held during that time through it, and it took like 20 years, these people are millionaires. These people are millionaires. So yeah, you can get into the meme coins, you can get into the NFTs, all this hot stuff like Casey was talking about earlier. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a long-term mentality on this stuff, don't come to me. I mean, maybe you can find some shady ass Telegram group where they're calling all sorts of things, you know, like buy with Doge Sonic the Hedgehog coin. All right. And yeah, you probably could make some money. Not will. You probably could make some money. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. All right. But here's the thing. Will you keep it? Will you sleep at night? Highly doubtful. You want to know why? Because I've done it. I know Casey's done it. All right. And this is really the way that you need to look at your finances, guys and gals. Like crypto was fun. Yeah, we had our adolescence years. We got drunk. We got high. We had promiscuous sex. All right. But now, all right, now we're adults. It's time to grow up in this stuff. And it was fun. We lost some money. We made some money. We lost some money. Now what we've got to do is we've got to learn from those mistakes and we got to grow up and go, how do we keep this money? And that's what we've been teaching. That's what we've been teaching. And even our company, we went through our adolescent phase. We had pimples. We had, you know, it was fun, you know, but then you learned, right? You learn from these experiences. Let's see here. What are some, there's a lot of novices in here. Casey talk to the novices. Talk to the novices, because I know you're the one that actually teaches this course. You're the one that teaches this course, and you're the one who actually gets down and dirty with the novices. You roll up your sleeves and you're like, all right, guys, here's how it works. Talk to the novices and let them know what is it that they need to do in order to succeed in this business.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I'll tell you guys. When you're starting out, first of all, analysis paralysis is very real, and it is very much paralyzing. There's infinite information in crypto if you open your mind to it. Ignore the noise. Like Gaven was saying, you're going to hear, here's the next 1000x shitcoin, and like all these people on Twitter and whatever else source of YouTube, everybody's trying to show you the next project, right? But take the time to just have a basic understanding. What is crypto and blockchain? What are the wallets I need to operate? How do I keep myself safe in this space? Build up, get the training wheels on first. Build up what you need to know before you start trying to figure out how you can hit home runs. Because I always tell the students, hey, it doesn't matter how good you get at finding projects if you don't know how to get into them. Doesn't matter how good you get at making money if you don't know how to keep it. So make sure you take the time to do that. And listen, like Gaven said, even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. For every 100,000x projects that you hear out there, maybe one or two of them actually does anything. You're going to lose your money. That is gambling. You're better off going to the casino by doing that. So there's a lot of hype out there on social media. There's a lot of, speculative frenzy out there. Take the time to actually genuinely educate yourself. This is the future that you're banking on right here. This is really, really important stuff. And if you truly want to change your life, and if you truly want to make a difference in your financial situation, take it seriously. This isn't gambling. This is a new asset class that you need to learn and understand. On the flip side of that, guys, don't feel like there's anything that you have to know or that you're behind, right? Nobody just knows crypto. It's new. It's new to everybody. So give yourself some grace and take the time to have patience and to learn. And, the last thing on the analysis paralysis that I've got to tell you is, as we all know, an object in motion stays in motion. So what I'll tell you is just don't stop. Take small action every day and don't make it so scary, so intimidating for yourself. If you've got $100,000 to invest, or if you've got $10,000 to invest and you're too scared because you're going to lose it all, you can practice with $5, right? You can get the moves down and you can make these small. So just don't make it scary for yourself. And that's what we try and do here at the ARC, is just to make you confident investors, make you educated and informed investors, and not gambler shitcoiners. And so that's what we're here for.
Thank you. So let me state this, everybody. Okay, this is a time to take action. This is the time to take action. And let me tell you this. There's a lot of people who say they teach crypto out there. We've got a link on the screen here, and it's also in the description. All right. We've got a link in the description, and we've got one on the screen here. If you're here maybe for the first time, cool. Maybe you're not ready to take that step, but I know we've got a lot of people who have been coming in over and over and been thinking like, man, maybe I should take this leap. We've got a deal right now. It's 50% off. It's a monthly subscription that you can cancel your Netflix. Maybe instead of going to Starbucks, you can put towards this. It's $96 a month. It's $97 a month with the discount. All right. It's going to go back up to $194 per month once we've reached a certain scale. Okay. It's going to go back up. But right now it's 50% off. It's right now, guys, 50% off if you use that link. Now, what does it include? You're like, well, what am I getting into? What is it that I'm doing here? All right. Somebody wrote in here in the chat, we got 6 days of classes. Now, that's just not like one class per day. Sometimes we have 2 classes per day. All right. We have people that are like so passionate about this movement, and it's not about just crypto. We talk about lifestyle. Like Casey just traveled all over South America. Within 2 months, she was down, living her life, like really, really enjoying. We have people that are moving outside of the United States to different countries to where they're like, man, I can breathe here. not just because, you know, the pollution and all this stuff, but I can breathe here because inflation really hasn't caught up to here. And my dollars go a lot further, and I'm my own bank. And let me tell you, I've lived in, man, 5, 6 different countries. I didn't need to establish a bank in those countries. I had my own bank. And we teach you all literally how to have your crypto to where if you need to spend it right then and there, you could. If you need to send your landlord some money, you could in another country. All right. We've got all sorts of, we teach you crypto. We teach you mindset. We teach you discipline. We teach you discipline. All right. And like, stay calm. All right. These are the things that go up and down. We have conservative investments. We have medium risk investments. We have high risk investments that we're talking about. All right. And we show you what we're doing. We're not your financial advisor, but we show you what we're doing so that you're not like left out in the cold. And then you have this whole community. We have an app where the community is able to chat different subsections pertaining to different things, different topics, so you don't get lost. Even our courses are within the app. Within the app, the live courses that we teach, you just go right to the app, all that stuff. And we're building all sorts of things day by day into the app to make it a better, more pleasurable experience. This isn't some high ticket item where come and pay us $15,000 to learn crypto. No, we have options like that, but most people really don't need that. Most people don't need that. All right. And for this $97, I'm telling you right now, you'd be losing out. And let me tell you two more things before we go. There's a money back guarantee of 15 days. So if you don't resonate with us, cool. All right, you cancel, we send you your money back for $97. But like we were talking about airdrops, like if you would have just gotten this one airdrop that took you 5 minutes just of paying attention, and we've got multiple different airdrops. Casey's got probably another 15, 20 airdrops that she's talked about that are ready to come on board. All right. But if you just got that one airdrop, man, you just paid for almost 3 years of tuition. Just stop one thing for free. You don't even need money. Okay. And let's say, for instance, in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you're like, man, you know what? I'm done with these guys. I don't want to hear anything else about airdrops. And I've already learned. I know where to go. I know what to do. All right, cool. You cancel. There's no obligation. We're not holding your feet to the fire here. So do me a favor. If anybody's signed up, drop it in the chat in YouTube, because I want everybody to know, like, hey, I've signed up. I'm in this course. I'm in this course. All right. Because this is real stuff, guys. Like, I'm telling you, when it comes to educating yourself on this, again, I hate these things where it's like this constant upsell. Like, I've met guys and they're just like, they've come to us and been like, you need a higher ticket item, and you need a thing to sell them here, and you need a thing to sell them there, and you need a thing that, and I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Unless it's going to bring absolute value to you, I'm not going to sell anything. Why would I? And for years, man, we were charging just like $100 to get in. All right. Just because we were still working out our own kinks. All right. I'm like, I'm not going to just sell something to just sell it. All right. Look, there's a whole bunch of people in here. Great value. I'm telling you all right now, if you're looking for a place to get into crypto and you want the alpha, we're the ones for you. There is no, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to bring Casey up. Like, we are the best at what we do. We are the best. There's other people that do things out there, and maybe they're specialized in like one particular area. And I'm not going to say that they're not good. They are. But when it comes to looking at it from the whole picture and making it really easy, Casey, would you agree? We're the best?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nobody with a couple of things. The community that we have, there's nobody that, to be completely honest, there's nobody that gives a shit about you the way that we do. We don't want to just teach you how to use crypto and lose your money. We want to teach you how to create generational wealth and change your financial situation. Additionally, that's why, like Gaven said, we're not just trying to like sell people to get into this, because we have to deal with you. You are our community and our family, and I don't want to deal with assholes. So we're not trying to just, bring in all these people. We have masterminds and events where we get together and we go out to dinner and we hang out with one another. And so this truly is a family. And, not to pat ourselves on the back too much here, but nobody else has the educational content that we have. We have an app. We have our own custom website that's a full e-learning platform. That's like when you go to college and you have your e-learning modules, we have that for cryptocurrency, and nobody's doing that. And so, I mean, this is cutting edge stuff here, guys.
And guys, gals, look at the chat here in YouTube. And by the way, maybe you're not ready to make that step. Cool. But here's the step I at least would urge you to make. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and the notification button, because despite the fact of all the other stuff that we do provide, we still provide alpha here. There's still little gems. It's just we don't have time to be just doing things on YouTube all day long. We have a community that we do service. You even have like a customer service line, a customer service chat. All right. In crypto, there is no customer service. All right. We've got even a customer service chat. So anyways, guys, gals, I think we're done. Casey, thank you so much. So grateful for everything that you've done. I'm so glad to see how much you've grown, and looking forward to even more, how much you're going to grow in teaching women, especially women, because that, like, I'll say this, there's a lot of men in crypto, but it's very intimidating for women. I've talked to a lot of women through the years, and they've just been like, man, it's very risky. It's very high paced. There's some things, where guys, they'll run off the cliff. They don't care. They're like sheep, which is why I like the aspect that Casey brings to the arc, and why I think she's growing in popularity so much recently. It's because we need that balance, the yin and the yang, the male and the female, right? And she really like makes it so that it's not intimidating. She makes it so that it's easy to understand, all right? And this is something that we really need. We need more women in crypto, all right? We need more women. We need to come together, men and women, on this. It can't just be a dude-dominated thing anymore, all right? We tried that way, and look at where we're at right now, all right? Everybody wants to fucking blow themselves up. Fuck that. Sorry, YouTube. I'm going to use cuss words, all right? But I like the blend that we have, and we've got a lot of great women in our group. A lot of amazing women. Jill, we have Gemma, we've got all sorts of, my wife, all right? We got all sorts of women. And again, if you're a woman, this is the place to be as well. If you're a man, this is the place to be. But we want to really, really make this not intimidating for everybody, So guys, gals, Casey, again, thank you so much. Let's make this a great one, and let's make some money.
Thank you, Gaven. Thank you, everybody, for your time today. Much appreciated.
Cheers.